Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Let's get some things set up here. Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Diana. Welcome to Wednesday night workshop with Build a Quilt. And tonight's a little bit special because not only are we talking about our week 5 of our quilt along, we're also going to have a little celebration tonight because tonight is the last Wednesday night workshop of 2024. I didn't realize that, to be honest, last week when we were together. I thought we had a week after, but Christmas is coming Wednesday and the beginning of Hanukkah. So lots of stuff coming up this week. So of course, Wednesday, we won't be getting together. And then we won't be getting together the next because it's like New Year. So we won't be getting back together on Wednesday night until the 8th of January. That seems like forever away, but we all have friends, family, private stuff we're doing over the next few weeks. You won't miss me at all, but I'll miss you guys for sure. Hi, everybody. If you are just joining in, please sign in and say hello. Let us know where you're from if you want. Hello, Ruth. How are you tonight, dear? So good that you could be with us tonight. For sure. So we have, I have 2 games for us tonight. And I have the spinning wheel. I'm just going to kind of flip it around. Every pie wedge has something on it this week. There are some good things on there too. So we're going to have 2 games later after we talk about this week's week 5 quilt along block. And let's just remember that, there's going to be 2 games. One of them is going to be trivia, holiday trivia. And one of them is going to be the game. Have you ever played it? Let me know if you've played this in the comments. Never Have I Ever. Now, usually Never Have I Ever is played to try and get someone to admit that they've done something embarrassing. But this is Never Have I Ever, the Quilters edition. And lots of good prizes and stuff. So we've got a lot to go over. And I have lots of memes tonight. I just have a bunch of stuff for us tonight. So let's go ahead while you're letting us know who you are and signing in. Please don't be embarrassed to sign in. I would love to say hello to you and I'd love to know where you're coming from. So let's take a look at our very first meme tonight. So we have a tree and we have a couple here and we have somebody down here in presents, and it says, you can put the gift with the others. Just be sure don't cover up her prize-winning tree skirt. And if you look really closely to that tree skirt, it's a beautiful patchwork quilted tree skirt. And of course, you don't want stuff sitting on that. You want everybody to see it, especially if it's a prize-winning one. And that idea around prize winning for a competition, that's going to come up another time tonight. So keep your ears open, your eyes open for that. But that's our first meme tonight. You can put your presents around the tree. Just don't cover up that prize-winning tree skirt. I know how that is. Tree skirts, I must say, are not the easiest thing in the world to make, because normally you either have to make them in a wedge shape all the way around, and that takes some math, or you make a big piece and then you cut it out, and then you've wasted some of your patchwork because you've had to cut it out, and you have to kind of make sure it gets cut out in the right way. So making tree skirts is not necessarily easy. Hello, Rose. It's so good to see you tonight. Welcome in. Thank you so much for saying hello. So let's take that one down and let's bring in our next little meme. So I have several tonight. Let's see, what's our next one? So here we go. We'll do this one. Do we have any current or previous, like junior high, high school, college, or professional, I guess, cheerleaders in our group with us? Well, I must admit, actually, let me take this one banner down. That's making me nauseous to see it just keep going like that. Well, I must admit that through junior high and high school, I was a cheerleader. And so we have a cheer for us tonight. Are you ready? And you can, I'll hear you in the background. Who are we? We're quilters. What do we want? More fabric. What are we going to do with it? We don't know. What are we going to do with that fabric? We don't know. Of course, you just buy fabric. All of us quilters, we see beautiful fabric and it just gravitates home with us, right? It just comes along with us. We don't know what we're going to make out of it necessarily or when we're going to use it. And I won't tell you how old some of the fabric in my stash is. That's okay. It will be used someday. And, you know, I actually have this one, oh, it's probably half a yard of fabric that I'm going to tell you right now is probably never, ever going to get used in my life, but it's so beautiful. I just love occasionally looking at it, kind of touching it. It's just gorgeous fabric. And I probably will never put it in anything because I don't want it just to be in one thing. I'd rather just have it for me to look at. I know, silly, right? Buy more. Buy more fabric. That's right, Rose. That's absolutely right. Okay, so I thought that one was kind of a funny one. Our own little quilters cheer. Everybody else gets a cheer, right? Why not us quilters? So let's take a look at our next one tonight. Let's see. Oh, I think this one is our own little Christmas carol. Deck the halls with piles of fabric. Fa la 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 la. That's right. I love Christmas carols that have to do with fabric. What about you all? I saw that and I have to say I had a really good belly laugh on that one. When I saw it, I found a source for new memes. So frame that piece of fabric and hang it in your studio. Ruth, that's a beautiful idea. That's a fantastic. I never thought about doing that. And it is a piece that has like a large it's like a portraiture fabric, so it's got a large piece on it that is a picture. That's a good idea. Thank you, Ruth. I'll definitely have to think about that. I love that. But yeah, I love this. So let's all sing it again together. Deck the halls with piles of fabric. Fa la 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 la. There we go. So if that doesn't, that's your Christmas carol from us here at Build a Quilt for this year. So I saw that one and I liked it. And I love that it had all this little fabric behind it. And then I put it together on the little red and added, it didn't have the fa la 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 la, but if you're going to sing the Deck the Hall song, you got to do the fa la 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 la. That's like singing the 12 days of Christmas and not doing the 5 golden rings part, right? You got to do that extra little bit there. All righty. And we have another one. Let's see. I've done that one and that one and that one. Yes, this is our last one. And this one is, do you all know the Dr. Seuss book, Green Eggs and Ham? I do not like them, Sam, I am. Well, this little poem kind of goes to that rhythm, that rhyme. I will quilt on a boat. I will quilt with a goat. I will quilt in the train. I will quilt in the rain. I will quilt with a fox, and I will quilt in a box. I will quilt with a mouse. I will quilt with a mouse, and I will quilt in a house. I will quilt here or there. I will quilt everywhere. That, I love that. That's something I'd like to maybe do an embroidery on a piece of like Ada cloth, machine embroidery on Ada cloth. And do that as something to hang. I like that because I'm a big Dr. Seuss fan. And so I love that. So yes, that goes to the whole idea of green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam, I am, but I sure do like quilting. So whoever came up with that did a really great job, I thought. And so for all the people that do these memes that I don't come up with, since I don't know who you are, I'm just going to put a big, broad thank you so much out there. I hope it brings all of you some smiles. I know they bring me smiles. I really like them. So I will quilt on a boat. I will quilt with a goat. I will quilt in the train, and I will quilt in the rain. I will quilt with a fox. I will quilt in a box. I will quilt with a mouse, and I will quilt in a house. I will quilt here or there. I will quilt everywhere. I love that one. So I had to say it again. Hope you guys like that one. All righty. So those are our memes for tonight. So if you're just jumping in, I see our numbers going up there a little bit. If you're just jumping in, please type in, tell us who you are, and please let us know where you're from, or maybe tell us your favorite Christmas carol or something like that, because this is our holiday version of Wednesday workshop. because this is our last one for 2024. Can you believe we're already at the end of the year? I mean, part of my brain says, yes, we're at the end of the year. And part of my brain thinks, gosh. And I think part of the reason I think it's not is because we have not been doing Wednesday workshop for this whole year. We started out the beginning of the year, we did Quilt Lab on Sundays. And that just really was a pre-recorded, and it really wasn't working out for people. And so we decided to move it to Wednesday workshop and live, and you guys will like it so much better. Hello, Sue. It's so good to see you tonight, dear. Welcome into Wednesday workshop, the holiday edition. Yeah. So tonight we are going to talk about Quilt Lab block number, or this is week number 5. In fact, isn't it the 5th block? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is our 5th block, our 5th week and our 5th block. Now, the next time we get together will be January 8th. On that night, we're going to talk a little bit more about the layout. Now, you guys can figure this layout by looking at your piece here, but we're going to talk a little bit about that night, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing for my finished quilting, and we'll talk about finished quilting ideas because I want you guys to have some inspiration to do that. And remember, here's the big kind of, not competition, but here's the kind of incentive. The first person after the 8th of January that sends me a picture of their finished quilt top, doesn't have to be quilted and bound and all that, just the top, but all sewn together, is going to win a free subscription to this year's Quilt Lab. So that's your inspiration to at least get your quilt top done. I know that over the holidays, since it's just Dave and I, we have several things on our schedule, but I know he likes to take time and do end of the year stuff on his computer, like clean stuff up. He's very organized that way and things. And at some point, probably he'll want to, if the weather stays nice, he'll want to get the lights outside down before it turns really cold, usually about the middle of January around here, maybe. So all that time when we don't have stuff to do together, I'm going to be working on the year-end quilt because I have a little catching up to do myself. This is just a really busy time of year. I get that, guys. So if you're not up to week 5's block, don't worry about it. You have all the time in the world to get it done. But that's the little incentive, is to get it done and somebody to send me that picture. So let's take a look here. We're going to talk about our first blocks. Why am I missing one? The bloom that, oh, it's over here. I'm not missing it. It's just sitting over here. Alrighty. So before we get going on the Quilt Lab, I did want to share something with you guys. Yesterday, we put out a first video in a brand new series that we're doing called Build a Quilt Basics. And what those videos are, they're not super long ones. They're like, this one was maybe 13 minutes. And what they are basic techniques for doing the Build a Quilt technique. Okay, so yesterday's was how I cut fabric. So you are always told to cut a piece of fabric that is larger than you need so that you have plenty for trimming it out of your stabilizer, all of that. Check that one out if you haven't already. It's right here on YouTube. I may have even sent it out in an email. It's all a blur to me now, but I may have sent it out in an email to everyone who subscribes over at the website as well. And so those are going to start coming out. They're called Build a Quilt Basics. And in 2025, we are going to be really working with our Build a Quilt Basic set, our combo set. Our combo set includes the half square triangle, the square and the quarter square triangle, the split rail, the flying geese, and the diamond in a square. They all come in multiple sizes, 3 to 4 sizes each. Plus there's full how-to videos, all of that. And we're going to be doing a lot of projects this year from that. And I have something to tell you at the end of the night, which might help if you don't own that set yet. That's our largest segment set. It's a basic segment set that allows you to go in and do all kinds of quilts. Because in the new year, some of the things we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking pre-existing patterns that are out on the market that you would buy, and we're going to translate those into the Build-A-Quilt system and do the whole piece the Build-A-Quilt way with our combo set. So we're going to talk more about that at the end, but I wanted to share that with you now. Alrighty, so let's talk about our first 4 weeks. So we had our inside out block. This is the one we made the most of. We had to make 8 of these. They're very simple to make because it's just one segment piece. This one right here, the modified half square triangle. It's made in 2 colors. So you make 2 in one color variation and 2 in the other. It's all in your patterns, and that we made 8 of. And then we last week we talked about the blooming star. Now this is not the color variations that I'm using for mine, but this was my sample that I had. So the blooming star, you made 4 of those. And then we also did our points home block. There we go. And this one you made 5 of those. And then this is our flower basket block, and you needed to make 4 of those. So that's where we are so far. Like I said, if you're not done with all of them, don't worry. Don't put pressure on yourself. I mean, encourage yourself to do some quilting over the holidays and all, but when you have family and you have other things going, that's really more important, right? Being with our family and our friends is super more important, but eventually you'll want to get them done. So maybe if you have some time over the holidays. So this week is week 5, and it's our last one. And now I'm going to show this to you in the larger size. This block originally came in 6x6, 9x9, and 15x15 inch sizes. But if you bought the pattern set for the quilt along, you got it in a 10x10 size. And if you are a Build-A-Quilt Quilt Lab subscriber, the diamond and a cross block in the 10x10 variation was sent to you in a separate email. I got a couple of questions, folks, saying it's not in my pattern set. It's not in this original pattern set. It was sent to you as a separate email earlier in the year, okay? If you are a Quilt Lab subscriber. Otherwise, it's in the full pattern set for the quilt. And it's our diamond and a cross block. Okay, and this one, I believe, again, we're only doing 4 of this one. Yeah, we're only doing 4 of this one, the diamond in a cross. The diamond being our diamond here, and then our other pieces make the cross. And with this one, you're doing half square triangles. You're doing a very simple modified half square triangle. This modified is the most basic modification for half square triangles. Half of it is 1 fabric. The other half is 2 fabrics. And it's these 2 match, and that one is different. So this whole block only takes 2 fabrics. Okay, and the modified uses both of them. The half square triangle uses both of them, and your diamond in a square uses both of them. So in every segment piece you make, you use both fabrics. All that information is in your pattern, but it's super easy to make. This one will go really quickly for you. It's kind of like, I liken it to the inside out block. They look a little bit complicated, but they're really not. These are really what I like to call a trick of the eye block, because they look complicated, but how they're actually made, the segments you actually use, are super easy and fast to make. Okay, so remember, this is the 15x15 size, but you're going to be making it in a 10x10 size for the quilt, and you're going to be making 4 of them. And you'll have, this was our February 2024 Quilt Lab block of the month. So there is a video out there all the how-tos, how to get it made, all of that. Okay. If you have any questions though, even right now, let me know. In fact, if anybody has any quick questions about the quilt along so far, tonight's a great night to ask those questions. Okay. Because I want to make sure you get those answered, because I will let you know this. I will be answering emails over the holiday, but maybe not as quickly as normal, but I will get them. I will get to them. I'm not going to just go away and forget about your emails. I will be answering emails, and new content is going to be coming out. I just told you about our new basics, Build a Quilt Basics technique videos. Those videos are going to be really great if you're new to Build a Quilt technique. And they're going to be really great if you've been with us for a while, like some of our folks that have signed in the comments. They've been with us for a while now, and they know how to do this. But sometimes if they're like me, you start to do something and you go, how was I supposed to do that again? Wait, did I start here? Did I flip that way? You could go to the how-to video and find that segment and watch it. But as these Build a Quilt basic videos, these shorter segment videos come out, all you need to do is go to that playlist, Build a Quilt Basics, and you can just really quickly look through those basic videos and go, oh, there's the one on flying geese units, or, oh, there's the one on making a modified half square triangle, that kind of thing, and watch it right then. Because once you've made that block once, every time you make that block in a Build a Quilt project, it's going to be made the same way, whether it's a bigger segment, a smaller segment, anything like that. So those are coming out, and that's how they can be used to help you all out. But this is this week's block, week 5, diamond and cross. And I'm sure you guys figured that out because it's the last one in the package that we haven't made, right? And just as a reminder, I'm going to tell you now, you might want to write this down in case I forget at the end. Starting in January, we are going to start having 2 quilt and coffee chats on Fridays at 11 a.m., 2 a month. I still haven't figured out exactly which Fridays out of the month because I have some teaching that I have to do on some Fridays. But as soon as I do that, I'll put out a big video about that for you. Well, not a long one, but a video about that, announcing it. But I wanted to let you know because you guys asked for that. In that video, or in those lives, they're not videos, they're lives. Sorry, they're live events. And in those, I will, I'll kind of recap what we do on Wednesday night, but there might be new stuff in there too. So it's not just a recap of Wednesday night. So stay tuned for those. So that's coming in January. There's going to be 2 Friday lives a month. Okay, cool. Yay. All righty. So I think for now, we have talked about the quilt along. If you have any questions, please let me know. Either send them to me and I'll give you that information at the end tonight, or pop them in the comments right now and I'll try to get those answered for you. All righty, so it is time for Build a Quilt game night for our holiday edition. So everybody grab yourself a pen, a pencil, and some paper because you're going to need to write some answers down. So we have trivia tonight. We have a 10-question trivia. It is all about holiday trivia, fun holiday trivia, nothing that's going to be really complicated. And then we're playing a little game called Never Have I Ever, the Quilters edition. So if you weren't with us when we first started tonight, Never Have I Ever is typically a game you play with a bunch of friends, especially friends you maybe are just meeting. And the whole idea is to try and get them to admit to something embarrassing. Typically, that's what it is. Like they'll say, never have I ever went sleepwalking in my underwear, that kind of silly thing. And then maybe you have to say, yes, you have. I personally would have to say, yes, I have. I was 7 years old. All right. That's the rest of that story. I was a sleepwalker as a kid, and I went outside to sleepwalk. And for some reason I had taken my the bottoms of my jammies off, and I just had my undies and the top of my jammies on. I must have gotten hot, I'm guessing. And I went outside sleepwalking. My parents caught me about halfway down the backyard. So, oops. But so we're going to play those games. And then after each game, when we figure out who the winner is, we're going to do a spin of the prize wheel. And look at that prize wheel. It is full up tonight. Let me get there. Now I've got it in the picture. It is full up. Let me tell you what some of the prizes are tonight. There is the gift box blocks, the new ones. The new Pulsar block. That's this month's Build a Quilt Quilt Lab block. The Quilt Lab pattern for the year-end quilt along, the whole pattern set. The Mosaic Flying Geese unit pattern. A $10 gift card for anything you want at Build a Quilt. The Jingle Bell Star block, that's that one right there. The Peppermint Twist block, which is that one up there. The Build a Quilt combo set. So one of the prizes you could win is the Build a Quilt combo set, okay? And one of them is the Quilt Lab 2025 subscription. And this last one here is if it lands, oops, you're not seeing it. If it lands right there, you're going to win everything on the wheel. Oh, that's a lot. So we're going to get ready. We're going to do our quick little holiday trivia. So is everybody ready? Get your pens and paper ready. Question number 1. All right, so this one kind of test your knowledge of reindeer. Okay, but it's an easy one. It's an easy one. Can you name all 9? I'm telling you in advance, so you know there's 9. All 9 of Santa's reindeer. I'm going to give you a minute to write those down because that might take you a second. You might have to sing the song in your head. Now, yeah, so I'm not going to say it out loud. So when Saturday night, we had Dave's work group over to the house for a holiday event, and we played trivia, and it was a little bit harder trivia, and it was longer trivia. And we got some wild answers that night on this question, because not everybody knew all 9 of the names. And boy, some of the names were hilarious. They were like naming them after things that they do at work and stuff like that, different pieces of equipment in the lab and stuff. It was hilarious. I should have given them points for originality on that one. All right, so that was number 1 for trivia, was name Santa's reindeer. Number 2, what magic article of clothing brings Frosty the Snowman to life? Do you remember that song? Frosty the Snowman. Yeah, so what brings Frosty to life? Write that down. Number 3, the Grinch tried to take Christmas away from the residents of what town? Ooh. Who likes the Grinch? You know I do. I've got a statue. It must be, you can't see my other hand. You can't see my bottom hand there. It's about 2 feet tall, I guess. It's by the artist Jim Shore. Dave got it for me. It's the Grinch and little Max, his dog. And it's got, the reason I like Jim Shore's art is because everything always has some sort of quilting look to it. And the Grinch one is adorable. I love it. So the Grinch tried to take Christmas away from what residents of what town? Number 4, the character Ralphie in the movie A Christmas Story only wants one thing for Christmas. What is it? What does Ralphie want for Christmas that his mother absolutely does not want him to have? Absolutely does not want him to have. Number 5, what is the name of the main character in the film Elf? Now, I understand that is a wildly popular movie. Dave has never seen it. I've seen it once on television, like many years ago, but our theater group just did the youth version of that musical Elf just this last month. So that's fresh in my mind, but the musical is different a little bit than the movie. But what is the name of the main character in Elf? Number 6, we're on number 6. I'll give you a chance to go back and ask for some of these to be reread if you need them reread, okay? Name the 3 ghosts that come to visit Mr. Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. Mr. Scrooge, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Scrooge is visited by 3 ghosts. Who are they? That one should be pretty easy to get, I think. Who are those ghosts? Number 7. Who is the most known? Who is known for the most? No, let me re-ask this. Whoever wrote this wrote a bad question. What is the most popular? Who is the singer in the most popular version of Blue Christmas? There we go. Who is the artist who sings the most popular version of Blue Christmas? I'll have a blue Christmas without you. That song. Who sings that? Number 8, on the 11th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me what? What did your true love send to you on the 11th day of Christmas? We were just talking about that earlier, right? We did a meme like that before with quilting. It was not tonight's green eggs and ham one. It was a different one, but it had the 12 days of Christmas. So who on the 11th day of Christmas, what did your true love send to you in the poem? I don't think Dave and I've ever done like 12 days of Christmas gifts like that before. So he's never sent me anything on the 11th day of Christmas. Number 9, how many times does Santa check his naughty and nice lists? In the poem, how many times does Santa check his naughty and nice list? Once, twice, thrice, mice? I don't know. How often? How many times does it say? And number 10, this is our last one. In the song, I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus. Where were they? Where were Mommy and Daddy? Where did this little child see Mommy kissing Santa Claus? Where? I've got Oh Holy Night going in my mind. I have to sing it Friday. And so if I break out in Oh Holy Night, I'm sorry. All right, so that was a fun holiday trivia, right? It was just fun holiday trivia. Does anybody need any of those questions re-asked? If you do, put your numbers in the comments and I'll get those for you. I'm assuming there's some out there that might need them re-asked. I think you're going to really like the Never Have I Ever Quilters version. It's kind of fun. Okay. All right. So are you ready for the answers then? If nobody needs questions re-asked. So give yourself 1 point for every one of these that you got right. Okay. Number 1, name Santa's reindeer. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, Vixen, and the most famous reindeer of all, Rudolph. All 9. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, Rudolph. Okay. So if you got all 9 of those, give yourself 1 point. Okay. Number 2, what magic article of clothing brings Frosty the Snowman to life? Now, it's actually, the line is that old silk hat. But if you said hat or his hat or a top hat, something like that, give yourself a point. Number 3, the Grinch tried to take Christmas away from the residents of what town? Was that here in Chicago? I don't think so. Where was it? Can somebody tell me? It was in Whoville. The Who's in Whoville. That's who the Grinch tried to take Christmas away from. Whoville. Number 4. Ralphie in A Christmas Story only wants one thing for Christmas. What is it? He wants a Red Ryder BB gun. If you just said BB gun, that's fine too. Give yourself a point. Give yourself a point for the Whoville one too, if you got that right. A Red Ryder BB gun. But if you said just a BB gun, that's fine. That's fine too. Number 5. What is the name of the main character in Elf? That elf is named Buddy. Buddy the elf. Give yourself 1 point. I know that movie is horribly, horribly popular. It's not my favorite. I hate to say that because I know everybody else loves it. Another one of those things. Art is very subjective. It's not a bad movie. It's just not something I look for. I don't watch it. We don't watch it every year. Dave's never seen it. He has no desire to see it for some reason. So it's all right. But I know lots of folks love it. So I wanted to throw in one of those questions for y'all. Number 6, name the 3 ghosts that come to visit Mr. Scrooge. Mr. Scrooge is the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. Or I think the actual book says the ghosts of Christmases yet to come. But I think once they've put it into the movie, it's the ghost of the past, present, and future. So if you anything like that, give yourself a point. And who is the most popular singer who sung Blue Christmas? Who is it? It's Elvis. Elvis Presley. So give yourself a 1 point if you got Elvis for that one. Number 8. On the 11th day of Christmas, your true love gave you... Boy, this was a loud gift. 11 pipers piping. So it's the 11th day. So you know it was 11 something, right? If you said, let's see, it's 11 pipers piping. I'm not sure what else you could have said to get that to come across. So you could have just said 11 pipers. But yeah, 11 pipers piping. Give yourself a point. And number 9, how many times does Santa check his naughty and nice list? It says he checks it twice. I'm guessing he's probably, somebody's checking it more often than that for him, I bet. But Santa checks his list twice. Are you on the naughty list? Are you on the nice list? I bet all my quilting friends are on the nice list for this year for sure. So he catches it, he checks it twice. And number 10, in the song, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, where were Mommy and Santa Claus standing when the little one found them kissing? Underneath the mistletoe. And you have to have mistletoe in your answer there to get the point. Underneath the mistletoe. All right, so add up your points. You can get 10 points. Add them up and put your point totals in the comments. Well, let's put it this way. If anybody got 10 points, put it in the comments. And we'll kind of like go down the list a little bit. Anybody got all 10 right, go ahead and put it in the comments. If anybody got as many as 8 right, put it in the comments. 8 or above, put it in the comments. So 10 for sure, 7 or 8, put that in the comments. 5 or 6. Anybody got 5 or 6? And anybody who got less than 5. So less than 5, 5 or 6, 7 or 8, 8 and above. Or 6 and 7, 8 and above. Ruth, you got all 10. Did anybody else get all 10? Did anybody else get all 10? Okay. Ruth, you are our trivia winner. And so we're going to spin the wheel. Yay, Ruth. Did anybody else? Please go ahead. I want to give you time. If anybody else got 10, let me know if I have to do a tiebreaker. Okay, so Ruth, you won. Congratulations, my dear. Let's bring in the wheel. And so there is the arrow And I'm going to spin it, and we're going to see what it lands on. Ruth, it landed on, I think it's on the Jingle Bell. It's on the Jingle Bell Star set. Ruth, do you have that pattern set? The Jingle Bell Star set. That's that one right there. Do you have that? You let me know. And if you do, we will spin again. Do you have the Jingle Bell Star, Ruth? You do have it, Ruth. Okay. Well, we're going to spin again then. I can't really look at it because it makes me dizzy. Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. Oh, it's not done yet. Oh, okay. Oh, Ruth, it's so close. You almost got the entire board. It's just right over the line. I don't want to move it. But it's the gift boxes, Ruth. Do you have the gift boxes? The 2 gift box set? Whoops. Here. Do you have these 2, Ruth? It's this one and this one. It's a set. Let me know. You do not. Okay, Ruth, you have won the gift box set. All righty. Now, I don't want you to go away. We have another game, and then we're going to have something very special with the prize wheel. So don't go away. We're not done. So congratulations, Ruth. You got the gift box set. So she had all 10 of them right for our trivia. That's a lady who knows her holiday trivia. You can be on my team anytime, Ruth. All right. You still need your paper and your pen or pencil for this next game. Never Have I Ever. Has anyone ever played that, the regular version of that game? Never Have I Ever. Let us know in the comments. We'll let you type that in, let us know. But this is Never Have I Ever for quilters. Now, I put in one question differently because one of them I thought it said, have you ever used a seam ripper? I'm sorry, who hasn't ever used a seam ripper? So I took that one out and replaced it, but that's later. Now, there are 20 questions here, okay? There's 20 of them. Number 1, so you're just going to write either yes or no, okay? Next to your answer. And at the end, we'll be adding up the yeses, okay? Number 1, never have I ever cut my finger with a rotary cutter, or your hand or your wrist. Have you ever given yourself a cut with a rotary cutter? If you have, give yourself a Y or a yes. If you've not, give yourself an N or a no. Never have I ever cut my finger with a rotary cutter. Have you cut your finger or your hand or your wrist or anything like that with a rotary cutter? I will admit that I haven't. It's just this, I think it was this last year, because I had a big bandage. I mean, I like really gave myself a good cut with it. It didn't look like it cut. In fact, it was either this year or last year. It's just been recent. When I did it on camera. And I had to put out like a public service announcement that there would be blood in the video because I couldn't redo it. My hand was all bandaged. I couldn't redo it. I had to get stitches. It was crazy. So never have I ever. Never have I ever sewn blocks together incorrectly. I've never done that. If you've never sewn blocks together incorrectly, give yourself a yes. If you have sewn them together incorrectly, give yourself a no. I'm actually writing this one down for myself too. Sewn blocks together incorrectly. So no, if you have sewn them together incorrectly. Yes, if you haven't, because never have you ever sewn them incorrectly. That's would be that one. Never have I ever broken a sewing needle. Now, this does not say a hand sewing needle, or a machine sewing needle. So I'm going to let you choose a machine needle, a hand needle. Never have I ever broken a sewing needle. Yes. Let's see, never have I ever. So if you have never, give yourself a yes. If you have, give yourself a no. I know that's kind of confusing. So if you have, give yourself a no. If you have, never have I. So if you haven't, give yourself a yes. If you've never done it, give yourself a yes. Gosh, that's making me confused. Number 4. Never have I ever made a quilt entirely by hand. Okay. So I have made quilts by hand, lots of them. So I have to say no to that because I have done that. So never have I ever made a quilt entirely by hand. So if you have made a quilt entirely by hand, you will say no. Otherwise, say yes. Okay. Number 5, never have I ever gotten mad at someone for using fabric scissors. Ooh, you got to be kind of honest about that. Have you ever gotten mad because somebody has used your fabric scissors? If you haven't, then give yourself a yes. But if you have, you've got to give yourself a no. I've told people many times, do not use my fabric scissors, but I've never gotten mad at somebody for it. I just am like resigned to the fact that they're just scissors and oh well. But yeah, I know we laugh about that a lot, right? Number 6, never have I ever bought too little fabric. That's kind of tricky because have you ever gotten home and gotten going on your project and realized you didn't buy enough? So if you have never accidentally bought too little fabric, then give yourself a yes. Otherwise, give yourself a no. Never have I ever driven past a quilt shop. Ooh. Never have I ever just gone on by. Do you always stop? If you always stop, give yourself a no. But if you've driven on past, if you can be really good and just go, oh yeah, whatever, I'm going on past, then give yourself a yes. And I can give myself a yes on that. Or I have to give myself a no on that because I've driven past shops before. Sometimes I'm out doing stuff I don't have time to stop because then that would take up my whole day. The next one, number 8. Never have I ever worked on a project in a waiting room. Have you ever worked on one of your quilt projects in a waiting room? Now, this says worked on a project. So I'm going to say it doesn't have to be quilting. It could be knitting, crochet, some kind of a hand project. Have you ever worked on one in a waiting room? Number 9, never have I ever finished only part of a quilt. Do you always finish your quilts? Always? Do you have some that are still waiting to be finished that are years old? I do. I actually do. For good reason. But I actually have a couple that have never been finished. And as much as I want to finish them, they may never be finished. So if you have never finished only part of a quilt, give yourself a yes. Otherwise, you have to say no. Number 10, never have I ever found a mistake in a finished quilt of someone else. How picky are you when you look at somebody else's quilt? Have you never seen a mistake in someone else's quilt? Then say yes. If you have found a mistake in someone else's quilt, then you need to say no. I do only because I judge quilts for fairs and quilt shows, but I don't go looking for them in friends' quilts. I never look for them unless I'm having to judge a quilt, and then I have to be picky that way. Number 11, never have I ever sewn through a pin. Have you ever sewn through a pin? Yikes. Number 12, never have I ever quilted at 3 a.m. I have to say no to that. I've quilted at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. and 2 a.m. I've quilted through the night sometimes, so I have to say no to that one. Number 13, never have I ever stepped on a pin. Have you ever stepped on a pin? I have. Yeah, right in my big toe. And you wouldn't think that would really hurt the big toe, but boy, did it hurt. I remember that now. 14, never have I ever measured incorrectly. Have you never measured incorrectly? Well, we know with Build a Quilt, because all of everything is exactly the way it needs to be when we're done and we don't have to square up. Typically, there's no mismeasuring. Now, maybe you mismeasured when you were cutting your fabric. I've done that before. So, and we're going to finish at 15 because we're getting close on time, and I don't want to keep going through all of these. It'll take a while. So the last one is, this is the one that I wrote in. Never have I ever taken longer than a year to finish a quilt. How long does it take you to finish a quilt? I've already admitted I've got a couple that are really old that I've never finished. Normally, I will get my quilt finished within the year. With Build a Quilt, I get them done much faster because they go faster. When I was doing it on my sewing machine and by hand and everything had to be blocked and all of that, those took much longer to do. But typically a year is way more than plenty of time to get a quilt done with Build a Quilt. All right, so we have 15 questions. If you got yeses on 10 or more, let me know in the comments. If you got 10 or more, 10 or more. Nobody got 10 or more yeses? Okay. Okay. Tell me if you got 10 or more no's. Let's ask it in that way. Did you get 10 or more no's? Because I did. I got a lot of no's. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. I'm not getting anything coming through. Did nobody play this game maybe? That's all right. I just want to know. I'm not getting any answers coming through. Did anyone get 5 or more no's? Oh, Sue, you got 10 no's. Rose, you got 8 yeses. Ruth, yes, no, that was your answers. So Sue, you got 10 no's, and Ruth, you got, Rose, you got 8 yeses. Sue, you got 10 no's, and Sue, you got 11 no's. Cool. All righty. All right. So did anyone get, you told me how many you got. So nobody got more than 11 no's. Did anyone get more than 11 no's or yeses? Okay, then our no winner, the winner who got the most no's, the person that has actually done most of those 15 things, was our good friend Sue Varner. So Sue, you're going to get a spin at the wheel. And then Rose, you got the most yeses. So you didn't do at least 8 of those things. And so you're also going to get a spin at the wheel. So Sue and Rose, let me write this down so I remember. And Rose. All right. All righty. I am going to spin the wheel. to see what you ladies won. Or actually, this is for Sue. This is for Sue. Sue, you are getting a $10 gift card from Build-A-Quilt. Let me see if I can bring that in so you can see it. You are getting a $10 gift card, Sue. So $10 gift card for Sue. Now we're going to spin for Rose. There, that's better. We're going to see what Rose is going to get. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Rose, the Pulsar pattern set. That's our new Quilt Lab block of the month. But Rose, are you a Quilt Lab subscriber? You may already have this. Please let me know in the comments, Rose, if you have our new Pulsar block, our new Pulsar Quilt Lab block. Please let me know in the comments. If you haven't, or if you have it, yes, you have it, then Rose, I'm going to send you a $10 gift card as well. We'll just make that easy. And that way you can choose whatever you like or put that $10 to something. So ladies, for our 3 winners, Ruth, Sue, and Rose, please send me an email at support@sewuncommon.com that says holiday prize winner in the comment or in the tagline, holiday prize winner, and I will get your prizes out to you tomorrow. Now let's get finished up before we finish tonight. Don't forget, I have one more thing to show you. You're going to want to be thinking about this because this is going to be starting for the new year, is our Quilt Lab subscription for 2025. It's a monthly mini quilt, exclusive blocks in 2 sizes, 4 times a year, a mid-year exclusive quilt along for subscribers only, exclusive access to the members only area of the website, extra free pattern downloads throughout the year, extra VIP access to Build-A-Quilt customer service 7 days a week for you guys, 5 days a week for regular Build-A-Quilt customer service is 5 days a week starting in January, but for the Quilt Lab subscribers, it's 7 days a week. You're getting a $75 save. Oh, and a free pattern. Your end of the year quilt along pattern is going to be free for you guys as well. So we have not raised the price. It's $60 again this year. So you might want to be thinking about that because we'll be starting that on the 1st of February. So you're going to want to have your subscription ready to go before then. So between now and January, you're going to want to have that. So I wanted to share that with you. And I also wanted to share with you because I just want to tell you all again how incredibly fortunate I feel to have been with you all this year and to have you choose to spend your time with me here at Build-A-Quilt. The ups, the downs, when I lose my mind, all the stuff we've made, you guys have made my year a truly blessed year. And so I'm trying my hardest not to break down here. So I don't want any comments about this. But you guys truly mean the world to me. And just as a little gift to all of you, which is through the end of the year, because I don't believe I put a date on this. So it's through the end of the year. We have a coupon code called Happy Holidays 2024. It's 50% off everything over at the website on any one item over at the website from now through the end of the year. The only thing it's not for is the Quilt Lab subscription, but it is for the combo set. And if you don't have that, that's where you want to put that coupon because that is where you're going to save your most money. But any one item through now through the end of the year. Happy Holidays 2024. Now, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, a very happy Hanukkah, a very happy holiday season whether you celebrate a specific holiday or not. Again, you mean the world to me, and you've made the hugest change in my life probably since I finished graduate school. It's been one of those big life altering decisions to start Build a Quilt, and you all made sure in your support of this little company of mine that I made the right decision. And I thank you all so very much for your love and support and your friendship and your quiltership here with us at Build a Quilt. And so I can't wait to see you all in the new year. There will be, like I said, some new content videos coming out, some new of our Build a Quilt basic videos and all. Between now and the end of the year. But the next time we get back together for Wednesday Workshop Live will be on January 8th. That will be our last night of the quilt along. And gosh, we're going to have a lot to talk about that night. So from now until then, happy holidays, everyone. From me and Dave here at Build a Quilt. To all of you and your families, thank you so much. If you need to contact us, of course, support@sewuncommon.com. Here is the website, www.mybuildaquilt.com. And as always, thank you so much for spending your time with us. And always, quilt life beautiful. Bye for now. Happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.